Now, Count on 2, live and local in the Low Country. This is News 2 at 6.
A Count on 2 news alert, a letter sent to the South Carolina Department of Transportation by Governor McMaster requesting to allow two-way traffic on eastbound lanes of 526 on the Wando Bridge.
We're going to talk about how the Department of Transportation is responding, and we'll also hear from Will Haney, the mayor of Mount Pleasant. Plus, changes being made on the Ravenel Bridge to double the traffic flow onto I-26. We have a live report coming up.
Well, today marks 4 days following the shutdown of the westbound lanes of 526 on the Wando Bridge between Mount Pleasant and Daniel Island. Engineers are working to repair a damaged cable, which we've looked at many times over the last couple of days, and they are telling us it could take 4 weeks to repair. It's
a long time, but drivers in the Low Country continue to bear the brunt of these lane closures. An effort by Mount Pleasant Police, though, trying to remedy the problem.
Right now, Mount Pleasant officers have added another lane on the Ravenel Bridge that exit to I-26. This is drone video from Mount Pleasant Police showing what they did today. They split that exit from the Ravenel Bridge, that exit to I-26 westbound, into 2 lanes to hopefully alleviate some of the traffic caused by the Wando Bridge westbound 526 closure. Now we have live team coverage of the traffic shifts. News 2 Sophia Arizosa is live in Mount Pleasant. News 2's Deanne Roberts is live on Houston Northcutt and Mathis Ferry Road right now.
We want to begin tonight with Sophia. Sophia, talk about the latest plans to ease traffic.
Hey Brendan, take a look at the Ravenel Bridge behind me. You can see that congestion building up now that it is rush hour. We are on the Mount Pleasant side, but starting about 3 hours ago, like you said, Mount Pleasant Police actually split that single lane onto I-26 westbound on the other side of the bridge into 2 lanes. That means that both center lanes of the Ravenel Bridge will get you onto I-26. I want you to take a look at some video. We actually drove the route just about 2 hours ago, and you can see they're using cones to split that lane into 2, and this will be the new traffic pattern during peak hours. Now, this isn't the only plan officials are working on to ease traffic. Local and state officials are discussing the possibility of running both lanes of traffic on the eastbound side of the Wando Bridge to allow for traffic. Governor Henry McMaster asking SCDOT to come up with that plan. Take a listen to what the Secretary of SCDOT had to say about that plan.
Clearly, that decision will not be made in a vacuum by the DOT. We will be working very, very closely with our municipal partners, first responders, making sure that that is something that we either all agree is a good thing, or if there's any concerns, any way to mitigate those concerns, or if it's just not something that can be implemented. So more to come on that.
He confirms local officials did have a meeting this afternoon to consider the possibility of two-way traffic on the Wando Bridge. He says the 2 major concerns they're worried about is if it will affect emergency response times and how to reduce the risk of accidents. The final decision will lie in the hands of SCDOT. Reporting live in Mount Pleasant tonight, Sophia Arizosa, Count on 2.
Yeah, more on this. Thanks, Sophia. Mount Pleasant Mayor Will Haney was in our News 2 studios just about a half hour ago to talk about the closure of the westbound lanes of 526. He spoke to us about the traffic congestion, today's lane changes on the Ravenel Bridge, and what's next, including that lane reversal for the eastbound lanes of 526 on the Wando Bridge.
Monday, it may happen Monday, but we've been told it will not happen before Monday. If you do that, and if you use this reversible lane, please drive with the most extreme caution you have ever driven with in your entire life, because you will be on an interstate and you will have opposing traffic with no real physical barrier, a visible barrier, but it won't be one that will stop you physically.
Work has already begun on that lane reversal. If you'd like to see the full interview with Mount Pleasant Mayor Will Haney, go to our website, counton2.com.
Well, if you've driven in Mount Pleasant today, you've probably noticed police officers like this officer right here, this trooper, helping to direct traffic. News 2's Deanne Roberts is live in Mount Pleasant right now. And Deanne, you've had an opportunity to spend time speaking with troopers and officers about what they are doing to alleviate some of the traffic problems and to make sure that motorists are safe.
Yeah, Carolyn, and they're doing this with the click of a button, and it seems to be pretty effective. I'm actually right here with a South Carolina State Trooper, and this is the button he's using to control traffic based off of real-time traffic patterns. Now, many of you have been asking, what are these officers doing? You've seen them on the sides of the roads. Well, I spent some time with local law enforcement to find out what they're doing to help with the flow of traffic.
Have to really watch what's going on.
He's focused.
I can see what's going on and what's about to happen.
And ready to respond.
10-4.
Officer Kyle Alexander has been waking up bright and early since Monday's emergency closing of I-526 West over the Wando Bridge.
We've been directing traffic out here since about 6:30 this morning.
Monitoring traffic at the intersection of Houston Northcutt and Mathis Ferry off Highway 17.
We're having to override the light to make sure everybody's getting where they need to get safely and as efficiently as we can.
All with the click of a button.
When that light turns red, it's turning red for a reason, because we're controlling it.
Officers are controlling traffic lights based on real-time traffic patterns, switching from green to red in a matter of seconds, all to keep traffic flowing. Whether they're controlling the lights, in the road directing traffic, or nearby ready to respond to an emergency, drivers I spoke to today believe they're making a difference.
I think it's helping, especially they're out of their cars and they're helping direct traffic. I think it's really helping a lot.
I think they're definitely contributing as much as they can. And I guess it makes you feel better knowing that they are there just in case something happens.
Even on Facebook Live this morning, say hello.
Hello.
Drivers thanking officers for their help and acknowledging the impact. Officer Alexander says it's times like these that remind him why he joined the force.
Like I said, it's helping people. That's why I got into it.
Officer Alexander doesn't know how long he'll be out here helping, but he did say he'll be out here as long as he's needed. There's so much traffic backed up right here off of Houston Northcutt and Mathis Ferry. Officers are still currently trying to help with that flow of traffic. We'll bring you the latest right here on News 2. Reporting live in Mount Pleasant, Deanne Roberts, Count on 2.
While the State Department of Transportation has a hand on the actual repairs of the bridge, local emergency preparedness officials are keeping things running smoothly on both sides of the Wando River. Our Berkeley County reporter Raymond Owens is in Moncks Corner, where he talked with the county's Director of Emergency Preparedness.
Benjamin Alquist is the new Director of Emergency Preparedness for Berkeley County, and he's jumping right into the job, handling this issue with the Wando Bridge and making sure emergency services continue on Daniel Island. You may not realize it, but when you drive over the Wando Bridge, you're driving either into or out of Berkeley County. Mount Pleasant is in Charleston, Daniel Island in Berkeley. So emergency staff have been working from the Emergency Operations Center in Moncks Corner to make sure everywhere is covered with service on Daniel Island. Don't worry, if something happens to you and there is an emergency on Daniel Island, emergency vehicles are still able to leave the island in any direction. That means no delay getting you to the hospital from Daniel Island.
For the most part, it doesn't interfere with our operations that much. The only delay that we're seeing is EMS units that have to take patients to a hospital in Mount Pleasant. They're having to take an alternate route to return, but we're able to bring units from other parts of the county down to replace them if we need to.
I did ask Almquist about the governor's proposal to have the lanes reversed on the eastbound side of the Wando Bridge, and he said one issue with that is trying to get traffic back over to the other side of the interstate once it gets down onto Daniel Island. In Moncks Corner, I'm Raymond Owens. Count on 2.
And of course, we will continue to follow the westbound lane closures of 526 on the Wando Bridge between Mount Pleasant and Daniel Island as crews work to repair that damaged cable. You can head to our website, counton2.com, if you need additional information.
A News 2 update on that deadly military plane crash near Savannah. Wreckage from the C-130 is now at Joint Base Charleston. Authorities are still working to figure out what caused the plane to go down while it was on its way to being retired in Arizona. 9 people died in the crash. All were airmen from the Puerto Rico National Guard.
You recognize the person right here on your screen. Moncks Corner police need your help identifying him. Police say he is a suspect in connection to a bank fraud case of almost $5,000. You're asked to call Crime Stoppers at 843-554-1111 if you know anything. We are less than a month away from the primary elections June 12th, and that means you can start voting absentee. You can do that at your county election headquarters or by filling out the application online and request a ballot be mailed. To vote absentee, though, you must give one of 17 reasons why you can't vote on Election Day. And remember, with the primary election, you can only vote for one party.
At that point, as you come in our door or as you go to the polls on Election Day, you'll have to declare, I want to vote in the Democratic primary or I want to vote in the Republican primary.
If you vote in person, remember you have to bring one of 5 forms of photo identification. You can head online, counton2.com, for all the information you need to know about the upcoming primary election.
The city of North Charleston is taking a big step toward beginning the construction of a new aquatic center. Tonight, the city's finance committee is awarding bids for the construction and management of the center that's building with Dorchester District 2. The $21 million bid is being awarded to Brantley Construction Services. The project has been in the works for years, but officials say that awarding the actual bid means that construction is not far away.
This is huge stuff. This means we can move forward, we can award the contract, we can give a notice to proceed to the construction firm and start breaking ground as soon as possible, hopefully by July.
The center will feature an Olympic-sized swimming pool and therapeutic pool and will be available to Dorchester District 2 school students as well as people in that district. Officials estimate the project to be completed sometime in early 2020.
Next on News 2.
Some local restaurants received a visit from the Department of Health and Environmental Control.
Coming up next, find out which grades they received before you dine out. It's tonight's Restaurant Report Card.